Hey, choosing the right treadmill. So when you're choosing the right treadmill, you have to first look at what your goals are, and obviously you have to look at budget as well. But really, what is the goal for getting or purchasing a treadmill? If you live in parts of the country where now it's going into that winter season and you're a runner that doesn't like getting out in those colder temperatures, negative temperatures, you may be thinking about purchasing a treadmill, or how a treadmill may work for you. And still, with our global pandemic going on, there's going to be a lot of individuals that are going to be more indoors now. So first, for choosing a treadmill, if you are primarily doing it for walking, if you're doing it for running, for fitness, you have to identify what those look like. So if you're going to be doing it for running, you want to bring your running indoors and you want to use heavy use, different and variable things that you need for that. So when you look at treadmills, you want to look at the at a longer deck, and that's like the belt length. If you have if you look at a lot of treadmills that you just may see pop up for sale, then they have a very short deck or shorter deck. That way, if you're running, you can't really lengthen your steps and have a full stride with those. So you're seeing the decks or the running platforms being much longer. Most likely that is set up for running. So that belt length or the deck of the treadmill for runners, you need at least 55 inches longer deck for most people. But if you're over 6 feet, you probably need at least a 60 inch deck. So looking at how long the deck, the running belt is, and you want to look at different features. You know, do you like bells and whistles with a lot of different programmings, heart rate monitors, inclines, things like that? Then those certain features are going to be showed up more as you they will show up more sometimes the higher price range. So let's look about pricing. So if you see treadmills between the 500 to 700 range, those are really have potential to have issue with parts. They don't last as long. Really, for someone that's a light walker, there's not a lot of recommendations for buying a brand new treadmill in that 5 to 700 range. So really, it's the lowest price range. Walking, I don't think you really want to even go into jogging, like very light jogging, potentially in that range. Moving up to like 1,000 and under, that 7 or 1,000, you can start to find now, definitely for walkers, and start getting into more jogging and running with those treadmills. There's a lot of treadmills that are kind of in those range. I do like the Soul series that are in that range. I think it's either the F63, I think that range, or F80, one of those ranges are around the $1,000 range. And then next we go up to the 1,500 range. That's good. That goes from good to great. Now this is definitely ideal for runners, and you're going to be running consistently, looking about that 1,500 range, especially if you're going to start cranking up the mileage. 1,500 and above, and you can go 2,000, 25. Obviously, the higher you go, then you start going into more commercial level, and then you want to be able to check out how much space you have. So longer decks. Larger treadmills. If you have an issue with space in your home and you want to be a runner, then you might want to readjust placement and where you want to have it at. So don't think I found a compact treadmill, that's the one I'm going to use. If you're going to use it heavily as a runner, then you're going to have to go up in your pricing. Now, you can find some finds probably like in Facebook Marketplace, some Craigslist, some other vendors like that, but you want to make sure that you go and test them. You look at brands, and then the other crucial part is going to be looking at weight limit and the horsepower, and that's and really focus on the continuous horsepower. So it's that CHP that you will see listed somewhere on the treadmill. It'll be in the manual. So 2.5 CHP and above, ideal for runners. Ideally, you want a 3.0 CHP for your horsepower when you're looking for a treadmill that you're going to be running on. You go lower, then you have potentially for that to break down, and you're not going to be able to use it for long because you're going to have issues with it not being as powerful as you need it for the capacity that you're putting on it. So that continuous horsepower, the CHP, you want to look at that, and that needs to be 2.5 at the low and definitely 3.0 and above for running. If the definition, like for between jogging and what they're classifying as running for treadmills, light jogging is classified at speeds between 4 and 5.5 miles per hour, and then running, which now switches into a vigorous exercise, is classified between that 5.6 and 8 miles per hour. So when you're thinking about where do you fall in the categories, do you fall in the light jogging, which is still running, so don't feel bad, it's still running, light jogging, or do you fall into more up-tempo running, aerobic, or vigorous exercise? That's the classifications on your uses and levels. Last is going to be weight capacity. If you are begin weighing greater than 300 pounds, I believe the Soul treadmill line and Horizon, I think they have capacities up to 400 pounds. So you definitely want to look at what the treadmill capacities are. So take homes for choosing a treadmill: look at the continuous horsepower, how long is the belt, and what your purpose is for treadmills. Mostly runners, you're probably going to find that you won't be able to find a good treadmill, a new treadmill, under $1,000. Walkers, you can find some in price range under that for sure. But another gem is to be able to look at people that are selling used treadmills. You want to be able to get on it, try it out, look at the horsepower, look at the deck length, the deck length or the belt length, so that you can find the best fit for you. So happy hunting when it comes to trying to find your new treadmill.